All right, so we're going to be talking about InfoSparks today. And again, I know the Florida people, there's a title company down there that's pulling up the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac reports and giving the trends, but everybody has access to those reports through InfoSparks. And Joey, what's yours called?
I use RealTracs. That's our MLS. I don't know
Most
exactly
things.
what theirs, but I also use RPR, which is nationwide, and you have a lot of marketing options there too.
So several vehicles to do it. We're going to go ahead and hop today we're going to talk about InfoSparks. Unfortunately, this is a 2 week program, you guys. I can't fit it all in an hour, but we're going to talk about the InfoSparks. I'm going to show you some of the reports that I've done, talk about what it does, why you should be doing it. And then next week, we are going to go deeper into it and explain to people how to get in and run these reports. Yeah, I found out through our MLS that the InfoSparks is in 37 states. There was another one that was in another 12 states, and then there was another one in the rest of the states. And unfortunately, I only know InfoSparks. Joy knows the other one. So, Robert Mangino, what are you guys using for your data?
Yeah, we have InfoSparks. We have
Good.
it.
Terry Roston, I know you just came on. What are you guys using in your neck of the woods for data track?
I think it's InfoSparks. I've not personally used it, but I believe it's InfoSparks.
Okay, Quinn.
Yeah, I use the
RPR.
RPR and between the MLS, RPR, and
So that must be
Yeah.
the California. Quinn, how about you?
RPR as well.
I think we use
All right.
RPR. I've heard that out in our neck of the woods too. I don't know, but I've heard that.
All right, Kevin Rich.
RPR and public records.
Robert, out in Arizona, we've got, again, RPR, just found it. And we also have, an Arizona only Cromford report, which is, I love that thing.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into what I have, but Joy and I will kind of split this up and talk about RPR. She'll do the RPR side, I'll do the InfoSpark side. Fair enough? All right, everybody can see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so basically we should know this, but I always, based on people, it's go back to the remedial side of it. And we'll say InfoSparks and RPR provide significant value to sellers and trades by offering comprehensive, customizable, and easily understandable market data and analytics. This tool allows agents to better inform and advise sellers, ultimately leading to more effective listing and sales strategies. It's funny, a lot of these tools don't get used in a seller's market. In reality, if you guys wanted to do your clients a favor, you should be doing a market report for your area. We used to do it monthly in Seattle when we were doing real estate full time, but I've got some other buddies that are doing quarterly, doing a video and putting the stats in, and explaining what the stats mean to the sellers. And one of the things that I would always do is send this stuff before I had my listing appointment. I'd actually send them out that video for the area. And then, so they would see whether they looked at it and understood what they were saying, but they would start to understand where the market's heading. And I think the best thing it does for you as an agent, it's setting up where we need to be for pricing. All right. So, and that's doing stuff like this just helps your sellers. So, understanding market conditions, InfoSparks and RPR can quickly determine whether you're in a buyer's or seller's market. Is there anybody that's still in a seller's market?
Well, there's a lot of stuff I'm showing that it's still a seller's market.
God bless you, Frank. We got to get you some listings, buddy.
There's some parts in Nashville and surrounding areas that are right on the edge.
Yeah. All right. So a balanced market generally consists of having a 4 to 6 month supply. If the supply is lower, then the sellers have negotiating power. If the supply is higher, buyers have the advantage. And I'll tell you, for Seattle, we don't use a 6 month ratio. We use a 90-day ratio. When we move up into a 90-day amount of inventory, that's when we start sliding into a buyer's market, believe it or not. On there, when the market was hot up until the interest rates started going cuckoo for the NAR settlement, we were always running under a 10% supply ratio, and that's why the prices kept going up and up and up and up and up. So you have to determine in your market, you want to know when it becomes a buyer's market and when it becomes a seller market. The standard that they just put down here was telling you that it's 6 months. That's not true. And in California, Washington, the high areas that people are moving into, that's not true. Okay, so that's the first thing. Property comparisons, I think we all know that, negotiation power and informed decision making system. So a couple of the reports I was telling you guys last week that I run off of InfoSparks. If you guys notice here, the Southeast King County, that's your high selling property, and it's probably, I'm going to say it's 80% of the MLS is in this category here. And I think I told you guys that we had slid down where the price is here. If you take a look at here, and this for single family homes, can everybody see how much it's dropped in price? -5, almost 6% in 6 months over last year. So what's going to happen in 12 months? Take a look at the inventory, it's down 10% over last year. And so all the numbers are trending down, 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 down. A couple other things that I thought you would find inventory, the months of inventory. Last year, we had 36.4% more than we do this year. Okay. And then we take a look over here, months of inventory supplies on hand here. So we are now 3% here. We've got a lot less buyers out there than we've had in the last 10 years being in business. And again, if I had access to the San Diego numbers or LA numbers and that too, you guys are still, and Frank's in a pretty exclusive area. The other thing I found interesting on the reports I was running, the areas that are hot, moving up and selling homes are more of the luxury homes. So in other words, I consider Seattle 1.5 million above luxury homes. There's actually more luxury homes selling now than there are just traditional single family residential homes. The median sales price is in the 6 to 750s. There's more homes over $1 million selling now than there is on these homes. And so here, new construction in Seattle. And if you guys, I don't know if we still are, but King County used to say that we had more cranes per capita than any other county in the world. But even this year, we're 10% down on sales. So, and again, this never happens in Seattle. When I did the membership for the MLS, I thought this was interesting. We only have 32,084 agents that are members of the Northwest MLS. That's down almost 6,000 people from last year. What's that going to be by the end of the year? Brokerages. We're down 451 from last year. And again, why is all that stuff important for you? Because all of these things affect what you're doing, what the sales is going to happen. If these are great things and great stats to go and start plugging in and talking to people about and know exactly where you're selling homes, where you're listing homes, know the stats. Again, when I take a listing appointment out, I will take this report out with me and I'll go through it with them by numbers. And why am I doing that? Erica Grubbs, why would I take those stats out when I'm doing a listing presentation? Why do I want to show them in 6 months we're down 6% in Seattle? Why would I want to bring that report out?
Because you want to explain what the trends have been or the changes that are going on in the market to make your clients understand what they need to do and how you're trying to help them.
Very good. And even we go down, take it a step down further than that. Where's it going to be if the interest rates don't go down to 5? Where's that report going to end up in a year from now, or 6 months from now? And we've got to know that as agents because of the pricing of the home. Like I say, we're either chasing the price up or we're chasing it down.
And
if
we're going to be able to tell them also that if they sell their house quickly, they're going to get more money for it.
Yeah, very good. Makes sense? All right. So, Joy, is there anything different that RPR does? Just to start out, can you look at all the stuff that we just looked at?
Yeah, so when you pull up RPR, log in, so you can go, there's a whole tutorial actually that gives, if you don't know how to do it, you literally can go to how to search and it gives you a whole video on how to do it if you've never done it. But yeah, I mean, you can pull up residential market activity, which I already had up. And then you can search by zip code. You can search by neighborhood. You can search by an actual address. So, I mean, I can pull up kind of area I'm in. And
Can
then
you do a lot of areas? Can you put 3 or 4 areas in?
you
at a time?
can, like, you can put a zip code. You can put in a couple of different neighborhoods, but usually it's done by more specific location. And then you can also run reports too. So you can run a report that does market activity report, and you can do that. I always do this when I'm before any listing. I actually put in the actual address. So if you haven't, the listing that you're going to, you can actually put in the address again. Here's one that I was doing for property in Tennessee, but it'll give you all of the market value on it. So it'll talk about home facts, then it talks about market activity for that zip code. And this is from June 2023 to 2024. So again, in this area, home prices have gone up a little bit, but again, medium days on average are 45. And then it'll talk about listing price versus the sales price. I think this is a really good sheet to show sellers because it kind of lets them know, obviously, longer time on market, the less likely you are to get to that listing price.
Hey, Joy, on that, your orange one on the top row,
Mhm.
does that mean that houses are the difference in price? Is that off of the market, the listed price? So they're 8.7 getting offers 8.7 less than that?
Yes. Yep.
On
So that's
average?
below listing price.
Wow.
They're
that's
all below
30
listing price.
days.
Yeah. Yeah. It can it'll show you number of sales. See, so if there was anything, I mean, there's nothing that showed up above listing price. Now this is a little bit more of a remote area, so we could go in and do something a little more in towards Nashville. But again, when I run this report, I run it. I give them the whole report. Some people, will gloss over it. Some sellers like to know all that information, but at least I'm sharing that information with them too. Again, market health charts kind of talks about medium estimated home value and medium listing price. You can see how it's sharply declined going into from January 2025 to July 2025. List price has gone way down. Medium sales price versus sales volume. Again, here you can see where the inventory's gone way up.
Look at that tumbling.
Yes. Median listing prices versus listing volume. So yeah,
So Joey, when you show your sellers these reports, what's their first inclination?
Well, so I go into on my MLS, I have market trends too. And I always run the one report I always run, and then I print out for them is going to be the absorption rate, which is time on market. Actually, that's not, let's see. Sorry.
You guys think time on market's important?
Yeah, so I can choose any of these. I can do new listings, new under contract, active inventory. But I always do month of supply.
Active inventory is 270 days average?
Mm-hmm.
Go back up. You guys seen this?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Joy. So when you see it's your average is 270 days on market, are you going in and telling a seller that we'll put it on Thursday and be in contract in on Tuesday?
Well, I mean, yeah, when I'm talking about listing it with the platform, I mean, we can even, I mean, even if you're talking about half a days on market, I mean, you're talking about, I mean, a significant amount of time, right? And you can do that in RPR as well. So you can run a residential market activity report kind of for the same, we could do the same zip code. Oh goodness, has to know where I am at. But we can talk about time on market and days on market.
Where's the trends tab? I always find that really interesting.
Yeah, residential market trends.
Yeah.
That's it right here.
Oh, okay. That was a little different for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it'll tell you.
Okay, there you go.
Yep.
See, love that.
Yep. So,
Seller's market.
yep, it's still considered somewhat of a seller's market in the Hendersonville area. This is just north of downtown Nashville. It gives you, you know, sold to list price percentage. That's a really good percentage right there. But again, still medium days on market is 47. Medium house sold price, estimated property value. It's gone up very, very small amount since last month.
Well, and that's also combined single family detached and condos.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah, you can change property type here.
Yeah.
Just put single family in, Joy. Let's see where that ends up.
No change. So there, a little bit longer days on average, a little bit less.
Still showing a seller's type market.
It is in this area. This is a pretty strong area. But this, I mean, this is nationwide. So we can put in a different zip code. If someone has a zip code, I can put in here.
Put in my zip code.
Yep.
92009.
What is it?
92009.
Be careful, Joy. The numbers are gonna explode. Look at that. Come on, Frank. Let's go. Let's get some listings, buddy.
Look at that. The inventory's not huge. Median sales price is good. Days on market.
Days on market is very good. Yeah. So these are all positive numbers. So again, anybody else have another zip code they want to?
Yes, Joy, can you put in 93551? 93551.
It's already shifted. You're about, you know, you're right on the edge there, about 3.7. Again, you have a good list to sold price. Again, 45 days on average.
Do I put mine in? I just so everybody can see where my area is going crazy. 91001.
Yeah.
I mean, 101. That's a pretty good sold to list price. Again, pretty low days on market. Now, this is showing a negative month over month change and a negative 12-month change. So you can see this pretty drastically has dropped off.
Joy, remember that's in that fire ravaged areas from this winter.
Right. Right. Yeah. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. You can see pretty significant. I mean, these are really kind of, you know, this is all important information for people to use. Very specific to where you're at. I mean, I think, does somebody have a Florida address? Because you can see the big difference. Like even, I'll put in one I know that's gotten a little different. You're going about an hour north of Nashville and you can see a significant difference. 370.
I can give you Naples, Florida if you want.
But even then, see it's trending. I mean, their month on market, 64 days on average. This is a huge difference. Even from when I showed that one in Hendersonville, which is about 45 days on average, the further out you go, it's a much bigger, significant difference.
If you try 34112 for Florida, you'll see a big difference.
Yeah. Now, days on market is still not horrible, yes, but I mean, yeah, you're definitely. I mean, you're significantly in a buyer's market, right? Months of inventory, almost 8.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how this data is a little bit different for our neighbor MLS. We have 82 days on market, whereas this RPR has a lower days on market. So
Mhm.
that's an interesting thing, whether you go from InfoSparks to RPR to the MLS,
Yeah.
you'll see a spread.
Yes. Yes. I find that RPR is, if I'm taking hyper local data, which like on my regular RealTracs, hyper local data as opposed to RPR is nationwide. It's done by National Association of Realtors. It tends to be a little bit more on the brighter, cheerier side, I'd say. So if I look at, it'll give you what an estimate of a property would be, and it's always a little bit higher, I feel like, than actual current market value. So that's good. It's something to know, you know. But the nice thing about RPR too is even when you run a seller's report, so you can actually put in a physical address. You can just go in the home and do a physical address, and it will, like I just did this one, but it'll run a whole report, and it kind of gives you, so this is an off-market value. It gives you an estimated market value, but you can even go in there and update it. So you can go in and change it according to, if you go in and change some things, sorry, you can update it and you can change some of the basic facts of it, and you can kind of change how it evaluates it. Like say, oh, it needs more updates, or it's already done an update. But even here, it tells you, you know, some basic information. And then you can run a refined, you can do a CMA right here. You can refine, this is where you refine the value. They changed it before, but you can go in and say, okay, I did, and this is great. This is a great report to run too, especially like I know we were talking about Mike Nikolai's report. If you went in and you know, did any of these things, a bath remodel, and put it in, it'll change this estimated value for you. So I don't know if anyone's not taking the time to learn how to use RPR. It's a really powerful tool. And then you can go in, you can create reports. You can do a seller's report. You can do, you could run a whole market activity template.
So, Joy, is that included in your MLS, or is that a side
Everybody,
deal that
if you're part of the National Association of Realtors, you can log into RPR. So in order to create a login, you just have to go in and then, well, I'm already logged in, but it'll ask you, if you haven't created one, you go in and create it, and you just use your association number, which it's called your NRDS number, I think. I don't know. That's what we call it here. Maybe it's called something different.
NRDS. Yeah.
Yes, NRDS number. And so that's the number they give you when you join the National Association. You just put that in and create an account, and then you can go in and, I mean, like I said, it has really great, very interactive tools that you can use.
It's awesome. I think that's a little better than InfoSparks. Let me go ahead and start sharing, and we'll go back through some of the InfoSparks here, and then we'll open it up for some questions on there. But what I like about InfoSparks here is that you know, you can put in multiple areas that you want to compare all at once, and you just put them in up on top here, and you can leave the entire MLS. But these are all the reports that you can run down here on the bottom. Okay. And we're going to go into it next week. We're going to be on the actual site doing this, because we're going to be doing fast tracks, which is a much quicker way for you to develop something for your seller and send it to them on here. But everybody that has InfoSparks, get to know these things here. And also you can use the line bars, or you can convert it into a bar chart, you know, where you have the bars sticking up on there. But you know, you can, property types, you got the same thing here: residential, condominium, vacant land, farm, and ranch. You can hit all of them if you want, all price ranges. You can segment it out in price range, and then you get a little snapshot over here on the right down here. And then the other thing too, if you want to run the property by property value down here, and so the home value versus just running an area. So, you know, if I got a listing that's, you know, going to sell for 1.5, do I really want to, you know, show my seller the 517 and less homes? It's going to paint a different picture for them. So with the InfoSparks, you can narrow it down by price. And again, residential condominium, vacant land, farm rent, you can choose them all or just choose one on there. And then your bedrooms, your lot size, and all that stuff again, you can put down and be more specific on what you're doing about it. And then down at the bottom here, again, if you want to know what it is in new listings, homes for sale, pending sales, closed sales, all that stuff, all these reports are available to you. And then various matrix, so you can add on just different entire MLS. Now I want to compare it with two specific areas. Down there, and again, you've got in here. This is the days on market, what it looks like. And I showed this. I went into this 2 weeks ago, and next week I'll be going into InfoSparks just like Joy did, and dealing with it. So the other thing that I like too, so if the customizing your graph, you got a monthly, you got a rolling 3 months, you got a rolling 6 months, you got a rolling 12 months. RPR obviously does that as well. And again, you can narrow it down to whatever you want down here. So, Joy, when you're sending a report to your sellers, are you just printing out the PDF or are you sending them a code?
No, I print it out as a PDF or I print it out like physically hard copy printed out.
Okay. So we've got the access through InfoSparks where we'll actually create a URL. And then this is invaluable for you too. If you guys are doing video marketing, talking about your monthly marketing stats, that's where your the HTTP, where your code's going to come in, where you just incorporate stuff inside of your website. You can do it inside. So there's several ways to do it, and I like that about the InfoSparks as well. I think the RPR is more specific to specific homes. I think that's a very cool part of what we do. And so I wanted to go back up here again. This is a report I ran today. And again, 5.1% down from last year in the first 6 months of doing business in Seattle. And again, Southeast King County is probably 80% of all the real estate sales are. So I'm going to go around the room and ask, why is it important to know where this stuff is? And Robert, what do you think?
It's just you have to know where all your resources are. So when your customers ask you a question, you can have it at your fingertips because they're looking for you to be the market expert.
So when we were looking at Joy's fast track for Naples, and you were going to go do a presentation, what did you get out of that?
Yeah, I'm going to use RPR plus I'm going to use InfoSparks just because with InfoSparks for RMOS, I can actually do falling waters, which is my main farm area. And I can actually show some beautiful graphs, which actually shows the trends month over month, which way the market's going and by how much. And it's a real incentive to the seller to realize it's better to sell sooner than later because they slowly see their equity fading away, moving back to 2019 price point. It looks like from what we're seeing right now, the air is slowly being let out of the bubble, and so it's better to sell sooner rather than later.
Okay, Amy Alvarez. You're in Fort Myers. That's close enough to Naples. What did you get out of that report if you were going to go do a listing presentation? Michael Nikolai. We did Arizona. What did you get out of that?
Man, it is so important to let people know where everything is going. And if the trends are following, where they're going to end up in 3 months if they just do a traditional listing, or in 6 months if they just do a traditional listing, where we can cut that time down so we're able to, save that equity that you're going to be losing.
Very good. Terry Roston.
For me, I have access to both. And for me, having that information at your fingertips, can do, what's already been said. It makes you the knowledgeable and the expert, information, but it also helps you set realistic expectations um, with the sellers. It helps them understand when we're talking about pricing, they always tend to, they want the most. And so they always tend to price high, but you can let them know, what to expect if they price their properties, how long it's going to, what is the estimated time that it's going to sit and all that kind of stuff.
Very good, Quinn.
Yeah, I would echo all that. I mean, to me, it's really about being able to show your expertise as well as be able to just show the best interest to your clients on how they can make the most money possible, whether that's selling right away or maybe taking a longer horizon depending on what the market looks like. This just gives you that power to be able to really serve them.
Kevin, Rich, Frank.
What was the question? I had to step away and take a call for some crazy clients. So yeah.
Why is it important for you to know market trends when you talk to a seller on a listing presentation?
Oh, well, it's kind of what they can expect once we get into escrow. And what it's going to take to get into escrow. And it's great when you have these visuals that you can show them. It's almost like, here, don't blame me, blame the stats. But it gives them a realistic view of where things are.
I always get something I can use from Frank. Don't blame me, use the stats. That's awesome. Oh my God, that is so great. Shondell,
I'm here.
same question.
I concur with everyone. I agree with everybody.
I know, come up with your own spin. Go
All
on.
the above. Honestly, they were all accurate. The last three people, I've heard them all.
All right. Kenneth.
Yeah, I since I use RPR since it's been available, I use it and send it out to my sellers up front. It does two things for me. Number one, I tell them to read over the report and write down your questions before we have our meeting. And what it always does, it allows me to go into the conversation with them having questions, and I can answer it, because especially sellers always, they want the most for their property. Most of them think their property has amenities that are greater than what they really are, and they're supposed to get more money for those amenities. And the report kind of helps me introduce them to the reality check. Much like what Frank said, it's a reality check. This is what we can do, and this is what you want to do. We got to meet in the middle to make this work. Unless you want, for instance, especially the days on market. That's one of the points that I hit. I said, you see these days on market, do you want to sell fast or you want to sell slow? And I kind of, that's how I'm always entering with a question to them and allowing them to come back. So the RPR report, the trends report, has been significant, and I've used it for the last 5 years. Every listings I've gone on, I've sent email a report first and prepare to answer questions when I get in front of my sellers.
Very good. So why do we talk about this, and what does this have to do with the Easy Real Estate platform? First thing is that you guys, the more that you get to be an Easy Real Estate master agent, these are all the things in your toolbox that should be used in every listing appointment. You don't have to dwell. You don't have to do that. There are ways to prep a seller to get them to know what they ought to be thinking about when it starts coming to pricing. Then you come into there and then you talk about the chasing it up and down, chasing the price up or chasing it down. That should matter to a seller. And especially for the type A sellers that are much more of an expert, like my real estate furniture salesman, we finally just took it off. So I almost listed for a year, lowered it down below market value, and guess what? You chase the price down, you're going to get what you deserve. You guys have to understand market conditions and where this stuff's headed and intelligently explain why the platform is the best option. All right, see you, Kenneth. And we're going to come back and talk a little bit about the buyer's premium. Frank Macri asked me to meet with him and do kind of a deep session on buyer's premium. And I told him that I would do that. But I think we're going to make that a topic Thursday, not next week, because we're going to go through the fast stats. That's the report that you're going to use when you go out to and talk to a seller. It's much easier report. It's now and it's quick and down and just great information. We'll be going through that next week. Joy gave you more of an idea of what hers does. Next week, I'm going to give you an idea of what ours does. And we're going to take the InfoSparks and do a deep dive on it and start running some reports, take a look at neighborhoods. And for all those of you who have the InfoSparks, have your computer turned on and be ready to take a look at some stats in your neighborhoods as well. But getting back to the basics, I always find that, when I was managing the Century 21, I did a lot of assumptions, a lot of assuming that agents just know these things because I know them. And we're finding out, and Kat's been saying this since day one, is that we've got to come back to the basics and we've got to take it back down to and help everybody understand. I would have reverse prospecting. I had no idea 90% of our people didn't know what that was, nor were they using that tool. And heck, that's one of the most valuable tools you can use right now, especially when you move into a buyer's market. But we've all been spoiled. We haven't had to do these things as a community until now. So it's important that these lessons, keep putting them in an order. Go back and again, watch them again. I mean, I'll tell you what, I didn't know what RPR was. I love RPR. And I think that's going to be a good little thing to have for our investor friends out there. I have not seen it. And that's what this community does. It makes you better than you need to be. But you've also got to convey this stuff to the sellers and even the expert sellers. I wanted to walk away from that listing that we had on for almost a year. I think by the time we were done with it, between marketing, videos, pictures, signs, picking up signs, taking out signs, I'm going to guess we were close to $10,000 into it. When should I have given that up? The minute they decided not to put it on the platform, I should have said adios. It's a rotten feeling when you feel like you've let your sellers down, but it wasn't us. It was them and their father. But we allowed it to happen. You got to be strong. When you go in and do a listing pitch, you've got to be strong. You've got to be right on the point. You've got to be the absolute professional, because you're going to have every bit of information that seller needs to make a great decision on why they need to list a home at the price that you tell them to. And 90% of the agents don't do that. They let the sellers dictate the price. And when you try to explain to somebody, so your next door neighbor has the same exact layout, same exact upgrades, yet you want to list it $100,000 higher than them. What makes you if you send the stuff out before you ever get in the door, you've already set the precedent of, I have done a ton of research on this thing. I'm not coming in to blow smoke up your skirt. I'm going to talk to you about what I know and the professional that I am, and I'm going to advise you in the best accordingly. Is that agreeable? Take control out of the gate. The conversation, yes, we need to have a conversation. but we also have to be in control of that conversation. I don't ask a question that I don't know an answer to.
You can't be afraid to walk away. Detach yourself from the outcome.
You guys, it's so important that everybody understands that. And I'll tell you from an old time sales, I did a sales class back in college. Best sales tool that I remembered out of that 2 years of agony going through this class, takeaways. Takeaways are the number one motivator for your client. The minute they don't think that they can have it, they get a little, they start getting a little fearful themselves. So either you're going to be the professional selling the hope for game, or your client's going to dictate everything, and then all of a sudden it's going to be you chasing the fear of loss instead of them chasing the fear of loss. Any seller that doesn't want to sell their home in the next 6 months in this market, maybe other than Frank's, but again, Frank's a luxury home price, isn't it? Isn't that kind of funny how in Seattle luxury homes are maintaining and going up, but yet our standard homes that we all sell are going down and down at a pretty 6% in Seattle. Who would have ever thought that in a million years? Seattle, and we're still growing. But the reality is the sellers have to know that. I'm not here to play game, Mr. Seller. I'm going to spend a lot of money on selling your home, and I'm going to get your home sold. You have to control the conversation. You've got to do checkpoints every once in a while, come up for air. Don't sit and look at your computer. Don't sit and look at your presentation. Don't sit and look at your prices. Come up for air. Every once in a while, ask them a question. Why do we want to ask a question? We want to make sure that they're engaged and they understand where you're going. And I know we all think we do this, but I'm telling you right now, I've done enough role playing with real estate agents. They don't. The biggest thing they start doing is they feel that telling is selling. It's not selling. We need to find out some hot buttons. Why do they want to sell? And then we need to tailor make our conversation around that seller. And I know this sounds remedial and crazy and all that stuff, but it's not. This is getting out of our own way and actually becoming the professional is what the top 3-4% in real estate do. Paul, do you have something you want to add to that? I saw you raise your hand.
At a high level, it's all about setting expectations, right? And creating through reality. And everything that I saw you present today is the supporting documentation to set that expectation. So that's how you create trust with proven data, and everything else you just said it, right? I mean, yeah, otherwise you're not dealing with reality. So
Ooh, I like that too. Put that stuff in back. Frank came out with a gem. Paul just gave you a gem. These are, when we talk to sellers, these are the words we've got to use. And even Mike Nicolai, when I was talking to a hostile seller with him the other day, he didn't calm down until he found out that there's a community behind every agent that's in this program. And you guys ought to be coming in with your problems together and letting the community solve it together. Yeah, Kat, Joy and I and Greg and we've got our ways of doing things. There's successful ways or this and that. But I'll tell you, a lot of these ways have come from you guys. And we're navigating this buyer's market. We haven't been in a buyer's market, none of us, in a long time. And unfortunately, our Florida and Arizona people slid into it faster, but we got to be more creative. That seller's counting on us to sell the home. And if they're not realistic, the home isn't going to sell. They need to know it. And then you got to decide, am I going to invest money into because putting a lockbox on was $150 that you got to buy. Putting a sign out in front of yards. I mean, we're at $100 each way. The signs. My signs are $90 a piece. Flyers. You use the signs, the corrugated signs with all the information on with QR code. Radio. station so that they can listen to about them. All that stuff costs money. Driving over there 5 times to let people in, to put your signs up, staging, making sure everything's done, getting listing papers, all that stuff costs money. You gotta start taking, you guys are business people. And we gotta start as a real estate industry, we gotta start operating as owners, not as employees. We all have brokers. I'm a broker. And but not one of my agents is my employee. I don't pay for their advertising. I don't pay. All I do is help them get out of their way. Every real estate agent owns their own business. So, oh, geez, we're out of time here. Does anybody have anything they want to say in closing? Next week, we're going to go through the fast track on the InfoSparks side of it. It'll be enlightening even for you guys that are using the RPR. It might give you some more ideas about more reports than you can run on there. So I'd highly come into it. We'll finish with that. And then Frank, is it all right with you if we do the deep talk a week from then on the buyer's premium strategies together?
Sure. If everyone
Frank's a good guy.
If everyone thinks it's beneficial, I really want to understand that upside down, inside out. So I can really explain it and sell it.
Okay. So anybody else have any topic ideas that they want to throw out?
Actually, I'm going to throw you a curveball because I'm actually, with my listing we talked about, Robert, I'm on my way to that buyer to go sign a contract with him so that we can get that house under contract at 405.
So are you planning on doing it novation wise, contingent? How are you writing the offer up, Michael?
Well, okay. The purchase of the property on Ed Rice is just going to go straight through the platform, straight purchase. And for the listing of the guy's house, that's still kind of up in the air. So yeah, I'm still interested in the novation on that one.
All right, so I'll get everybody up to it because everybody's been a part of this in the 3 weeks he's had it listed. So the seller, once he found out the community was involved, once he found out what Michael Graham did, the seller, he goes, well, I'm a licensed real estate agent. Michael, so Michael had a guy that wants to buy the home, but he's got an older mobile home. He's only qualified to 405. And it was really interesting when the seller had said he had to net $400,000. The minute Mike said that, hey, I got this guy and we can work it out, all of a sudden the seller said, well, how about if I represent him and I'll just give him the commission back so he can buy down the rate. And also you can use the buyer's premium to do other stuff with it, to help with down payment assistance. So it's funny how we went from a hostile seller by the end of the conversation. He was trying to figure out ways, just like we all are inside these community, how to get this home sold. And he came up with his own rationale by actually listening to what other people in his community have done. So
yep, exactly.
And this home that he's talking about selling, yeah, he can go ahead and listen and try to sell it. But he also put it, I saw he put it inside of where the agents put in for the investor. Maybe it's something Adam's interested in doing a novation on. Maybe we can do a cash offer to that guy. He doesn't need that much money for it. So anything's going to help him and also get him more money that he can afford more of a payment.
Yeah,
So
he's going to use the proceeds from the sale of his trailer to pay off a truck. And that's going to free up $500 a month of payments for him.
all these things because we have a buyer's premium. Isn't that amazing that that's how we got into all this conversation? And then the seller even started thinking how he could participate to make this thing go down as well. You should not be walking away from the platform. You should not be walking away from listings without exhausting all possibilities. And I'm going to tell you right now, you guys, all of this stuff is happening because of our community. These aren't things that anybody's doing outside this community right now. We are getting deals to go down in this crazy, crappy market. Arizona being one of the craziest. And he's going to end up in contract today, it sounds like. And
Yes, it is.
a deal that nobody else would have been able to do.
I got to scoot. Thank you, guys.
See ya, Frank. So, anyways, any feedback everyone want to say, or should we just get off and go on our way?
Congrats to Mike Nikolai.
Thank you.
Greg, you haven't said anything today. You got anything you want to say?
I'm just deep in thought, and I'm a little sick. I've got a head cold, but no, I'm really noodling on the buyer's premium. I think I've got a show for the crew to take a look at. I think I've got a whole paradigm shift for it that I'm working on. So, but nothing for now.
Ooh, can't wait to see that. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for being on. Don't forget about Mondays. That's our pre-flight Monday. I'm going to keep that name, even though we haven't dealt with any of the homes. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Go out there and sell. Hey, let's go and get some listings. Come on. We got to do that together. All right. See you guys.
Take care.
Thanks so much for tuning into Easy Real Estate Platform's Topic Thursdays. We hope to see you again next week, and make sure you check out our Facebook groups. The links are in the description.